Hello, hello. This is Mr. Automatic Charismatic, and I am with the wonderful advocate, beautiful advocate of domestic violence. Y'all give it up. Give it up for. This is, let me just say this. This show is called Inside the Spotlight, and it is on YouTube. Y'all go ahead and subscribe it. Okay. We have the lovely CADEENA. Is it CADEENA? Sometimes I want to, it sounds like somebody saying Sadina. Is it CADEENA?
It's Queen Sadina, yes.
Okay. Yes, Queen. Yes, that represents you well. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, so let's get down to it. Before we start this interview, can you give a description of yourself, and then I'll start getting to the questions.
All right, no problem. First, I want to thank you for having me, Mr. Automatic Charismatic. It's truly an honor that you follow me and are supportive of my work. But, yes, I am born Christina Parker, born and raised in Norfolk, Virginia. I go by the name Queen Sadina, the Quintessence. I was given that name by my ex-husband, actually, early in our relationship as we were dating, and he said that I embodied everything that it meant to be a woman and a lady and a queen. So that name stuck with me. I use that as my alias for my poetry. I'm a spoken word artist, a writer, a poet, as well as a domestic violence advocate. I'm always advocating and supporting people who have survived or are trying to get away from abuse and domestic violence situations. Most of my work have been in those areas, working in the local domestic violence shelters and on the crisis hotlines, and also in my current position as a mental health counselor. So I deal with persons with serious mental illnesses, help them with learning independent living, coping skills, and things of that nature to be able to function just like any other individual in society, but, to do it with the better quality of life. So that's just a little about me. I'm a mother of two. I have a daughter who is 19. She's almost finished her first year in college at Regent University here in Virginia Beach, and she's studying animation and business. And then my youngest daughter is 10 and a half, and she's about to be moving up in the ranks to middle school. So 2 lovely daughters, a stepson, and a grandson who is 2 months old. So that's my life, And
all right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Now it's time to go ahead and get into the mind of the world. Now, you said that you are a guidance counselor, and I'm glad that you said that. Now, I want you to be neutral right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Not when I say neutral, I'm not saying to go against what's right and what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, because I'm going to ask you how important it is for somebody to listen. I'm about to use a situation. Now, on the Easter Sunday, what happened? When somebody who listened to other people's problems felt like ignored, I listen to all these people's problems. So this individual, Stevie Stevens, felt compelled to do a heinous act to take out an innocent life. Now he was heard all over the place. So he couldn't be heard doing something positive. It took something negative for him to be heard. Okay? So, after he has done everything, and I think he was using Facebook Live I'm breaking it down. He was using Facebook Live to get the attention that he could not really get from his mother And, anybody who felt like he was trying to get close, this man was seeking attention. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, as about, those demons kept coming up, and he took himself out. Now, I said that, the person who he took out was double his age. May have been the person that could have talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
But his reaction was, maybe if I go ahead and do something crazy. He even said that I shame myself, I shame Omega, so he felt shameful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me ask, so now I'll get to this question to you. You are the listener, right? How important do you think it is for counseling people with mental issues?
I believe in counseling 100%. I majored in counseling and human services in college, so I believe in it 100%. I will say that there was a time in my life that I fell privy to the mindset of a lot of us that something has to be wrong, with you in order to seek counseling. But, from my own personal experiences, everyone goes through something that, takes us completely outside of ourselves at some point in our lives, to the extent that we do need to process through what it is with someone that is not invested in our situation, doesn't know us personally to make, biased or subjective, statements or give advice, based on something that they have to gain or lose from it. But to have, that person to be able to guide you through whatever it is that you're feeling. You mentioned Steve Stevens feeling like no one listened to him, and that he had to make such a grand gesture in order for his point to get across and to be heard. And unfortunately, that is what happens when people are feeling isolated and secluded, and that no one is listening, and that they're making all these efforts in vain, without the proper guidance and tools to understand and work through that, and to understand and see that, sometimes this can just be a result of our own thinking. Because I remember watching the video as it progressed, and he had a number of Facebook friends reaching out to him and saying, don't do this, and there's another way, and please call me, and we love you, and, giving him encouragement on top of the, many people that just watched and, discussed and fear and horror. But there were people that seemed to know him personally, and it just seemed like at that point in crisis in his life, he felt like he had nothing else to lose. My personal thought, when it's at that point, that's when the highest incidence of suicide or homicide occurs, is when a person feels so low and so pushed to the limit that they feel that there is nothing else to lose.
Yes, you said that so eloquently. Really, that's why I believe what you just said. So I want to, and thank you for explaining that, because that's how I feel. I think that, when you feel like you push to the limit, off the edge, and you don't have anybody to go to. And I think that, I don't know if the Heinous Act would have been not done if he would have had somebody to listen to. I'm not sure. But maybe, I'm just saying maybe, I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but maybe there may have been a chance. So I think that our voices need to be heard. It just matters of our voice need to be heard, and I think counselors like you that talk to people that do have issues. We all have issues at the end of the day. It's just a matter of what issues could be conquered. How are we able to conquer our own issues?
Yeah.
So, I know I talked to you, and you told me that you love some music, okay?
Yes.
Now, we're going to play the game called Listen and Dissing.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to say some music that I know you might not ever like, but this is for entertainment right here. This is just to have fun, okay?
All right.
All right. Jill Scott, Listen to Dissing.
Listen, of course, all day.
Okay, that's number one. Lil Wayne.
I had to say different on that. I can tolerate some, but not most.
All right. Okay, Lettucey.
Oh, listen. Whew, she's supposed to be coming here soon. I'm trying to go see her.
Okay. All right. Okay, Maxwell.
Of course, and that's who she coming with. Listen.
Oh, you really up to date on that?
Yes. I saw Maxwell last year for my birthday. It was my first time seeing him because, he liked to, go on hiatus for years and decades at a time. So he came here, and I got to enjoy him for my birthday. So that was awesome. So he coming back.
Raheem Devon.
Oh, yes. See, that neo soul. You can go down the whole list of neo soul, and I'm going to say listen.
Maybe I just want to hear you say that. I'm going to say something whack. I might say something whack. Okay, let me ask you this. Let me say another name. Nicki Minaj.
I'm going to have to be on the fence with that one. I can tolerate some of her as well, but more for just sheer entertainment. I can't really take her seriously as a hip-hop artist. But, she's cool.
The one who, honestly, the one who sabotaged Nicki Minaj.
Oh, Remy Ma, yeah. Back in the day, I would say listen, but I think with this whole comeback that she's on, I'm not feeling it. I feel like she's trying to get attention with the whole Nicki Minaj beef. So I'm going to say listen.
Well, I think I really think that it's over. I don't think that she needs attention anymore because of that one song. I mean, I don't mean any harm. But that one song just it's almost like putting somebody away and then you just go back to making music.
Yeah.
That's what that one song did. I'm just saying, I ain't trying to start nothing, but,
Yeah, I just wish artists could be confident in their own ability without having to, other artists to feel like they got a place in it. It's like, it's just like in the poetry world, we all have talents. Everybody has a different delivery, a different writing style, a different point of view, and it's all the art. It's all love. That's what the art form is supposed to be, diverse and different. If, it was about everybody sounding like the next person, talking about what the next person talking about, then none of it would be entertaining. So
you're right. I'm going to put you on the spot with that poetry thing.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Matter of fact, we might have a good little game called I'm going to add the word, okay? We're going to do a poem together. I'm going to add the word, okay?
Okay.
We're going to go to that one. You already know. So, let's see. Who? R. Kelly.
Are you asking me still listen or listen?
Yeah.
Oh, well, listen. People don't agree with that, but I cannot deny that this man has made some of the most amazing music, and even, writing for other people. I mean, he really does have a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, he personalized, that's a whole other story, but I listen to R. Kelly.
Yeah, he's a musical genius, really. Honestly, all extra stuff, he's really a musical genius.
Yeah.
Jaheim.
Oh, yeah, I can get down with Jaheim. Yes, listen.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
You don't have to switch up some genres. You don't have to start calling some other.
Let me. Okay. Let's go old school.
Okay.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Yes.
Come on to me. Come over to my place. Now I know about Teddy P. I know some. You know. Okay. Let me think about L. Cool J.
Listen, now, you know, he ain't been in the game for some years, but I get down with that old school hip-hop when he was hardcore before he became strictly the ladies' man.
Are you talking about LL Cool J the man or LL Cool J the song?
Yes, when he went hard. Yeah, when he went hard.
Because, you know, he says the ladies love Cool James. So that's, you know, that's why I hear. All right. You know, I just want to let you know, if you do want to listen to some neo soul, call Miss Tia's Queen Show on Monday. You can hear poetry and her show. Yeah. So okay. I'm up here advertising Miss Tia's Queen. Miss Tia's Queen.
No, she's dope. I've tuned into her show and I love it. Yeah, they always have the good neo soul and the awesome poets calling in. So yeah, I really enjoy her show. The Solace of Louisville, right?
Yeah, she's like you almost. Yeah. She's just like you. She don't like a bunch of negative vibes. You know, people talking about let me go ahead and go to the club and slap that. You know, you know what I mean. You know, so let me ask. Okay, I want to ask you another artist. Would you see or would you not see All Eyes on Me?
Oh, if I had the opportunity to see Tupac anywhere, whenever, wherever. If I had that opportunity to see him, and you're speaking of the upcoming movie about his life?
Yeah.
I want to see it. I want to check it out. I do, because I want to see, now that his mother has, you know, unfortunately passed away, if they've made any changes to, you know, the foundation of the movie and the significance. Because sometimes when, you know, the people that were really a part of, you know, the person's life that they're trying to depict are no longer around to give their input, Hollywood can put their spin on it and turn it into something completely different. So I want to see if it's, you know, authentic from what we saw, you know, Tupac as an artist, and, you know, what the fans felt that, you know, we understood about his lifestyle and his struggles and things of that nature. So, I want to check out All Eyes on Me.
If you go to TalkShoe, I did a documentary of my own for All Eyes on Me, so you can check it out on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can check it out. And I bought to see the movie as well. You know, Tupac was one of my favorite hip-hop artists. And all Tupac when I was coming up. And I was 21 when he was gone. 21 years old in college.
Wow.
I was in college when both Biggie and Tupac got taken out. I was in college.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember I was at work. I was 17 working when we got the news, and the whole call center just shut down. Like, we had a moment of silence because it came on the news screen, and everyone was impacted by that. And when Biggie was killed, I was getting ready to go I was living in Connecticut at that time, and I was about to head out to work, and it came across the screen, and I was like, what in the world? Because they were literally within months. So, you know, that devastation was real.
I noticed how the hip-hop changed. Hip-hop changed forever to me when those two got taken out. Because I really think that hip-hop would really not change as much if those two were around. I really think that they were going to be friends. I think they were going to squash. And then, you know, they got taken out the same way.
Yeah.
The same way it got taken out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been, much different. Even though, again, like I said, I welcome the diversity in the art form in most things. I can't say I can sit here and listen to everything that's coming out on the radio and stuff, but, at the end of the day, it is a business. A lot of it is propaganda, it's hype, it's, you got to create some type of struggle in order for people to think that it's real or, to be able to relate to it. So, hip-hop is what it is, the whole culture. Some things I don't like to refer to as hip-hop if you really, understand the nature of hip-hop versus rap. And,
exactly.
Some things you can't really put into that category of hip-hop. But, music is music. And, I don't knock nobody for their hustle. They getting out there. They making their money, So I don't knock nobody for their hustle. But it truly, hip-hop itself, it's a culture. It's a movement within itself. So it was going to change. But I don't think that it would have changed the way that, it did with, the untimely deaths of Tupac and Biggie. But we still have some good talent since then, though. We have them, and it's being redeemed. We got people, like Kendrick and J. Cole and even, the old school artists still coming out and making an impact. Rakim and, Ghostface and everybody in the Wu. So, we still got people out there making real music. A lot of underground artists, some female rap artists that people don't even speak on. Rhapsody, I love her. We got local talents.
Exactly.
Hip-hop is still a strong movement. It's still a strong movement. It's still, a real culture and a real thing. And, people just need to learn how to differentiate, what's real from what's fake and know what category people fall under, and not just group everything under hip-hop just because you put a beat and put some words to a beat. So that's my opinion.
Exactly. I love your opinion. Oh, my goodness. I might have to have you. When I celebrate some of these rappers, I might ask you for your opinion, And, oh, my goodness. All right, we're going to play the role, okay? Play the role. And we're going to get into the domestic violence part, okay? If you were to see a woman with a black eye, will you talk to that individual without hesitation?
It's so interesting that you asked that particular question. On my show, The Community on Abuse and Domestic Violence on One Positive Wave Radio, I was talking about advocacy. We had a show on advocacy back in January, and we were posing that same question on when is it appropriate to approach someone that you feel may be in dealing with the domestic violence situation. And I had gone through the drive-thru at Wendy's probably like a week before the show aired, and there was a woman, the woman that was helping at the window had both eyes blackened, bruising on her face, and, she was working. And at that point, I had to decipher whether or not it was appropriate because, one, the woman is at her job. She was doing the best she could. I couldn't just assume that she didn't get into a fight with a female or, something to that degree. I couldn't just make the assumption that, this was a result of an issue between, a romantic partner or, something to that nature. There are some medical conditions as well that will cause blackening of the eyes and things, of that nature. So, I was left kind of feeling like I wanted to reach out and I wanted to say something, but it didn't feel like it would have been received in that moment just because her situation, she was working. So whatever had happened, she was trying to deal with it at that moment. Now, in other situations, had I met that woman, walking down the street or sitting at the bus stop, or even if she came into our office for services, then by all means, I would have approached her to find out, if she was okay and what her situation was and, move to find ways to advocate on her behalf. So it's just a matter of, discerning what's appropriate because you can't, it's such a touchy situation. You don't want to ignore it, but at the same time, you don't want to push someone away from wanting to seek help from being too pushy and, seeming, to, just be intrusive or invasive into someone's personal story that you don't know.
Well, I like that. Okay. I want you to give me the viewers. What are the excuses that before I get into that, let's talk about the men that've been hit. Do you feel that those are the solid numbers? When I say solid numbers, the ones that don't get reported. If it's like a man getting hit upside the head, because a lot of men strain themselves from hitting their woman if their woman's smacking them upside the head.
Mhm. Yeah,
I want you to speak on that.
Yeah, I always say that domestic violence doesn't have a face. It doesn't have a preference, a gender or race, origin, religion. Domestic violence affects us all. I know that it's very difficult for us to get an accurate census of who has been victimized by domestic violence, because of the fact that men don't report in the numbers that women report. And it's hard enough to get women to even report because of the stigma and other things, related to domestic violence. So I know that, the numbers are probably staggering and alarming if, people honestly came forth, and admitted to the things that they've gone through. And then sometimes it's a matter of just even a lack of knowledge. Some people don't even realize that what they're going through can be, categorized as abuse, because a lot of times we want to look at it coming just physically, and think that it's visible, like we can look at somebody and tell that they've been a victim of abuse, but no, it goes so far deeper, than the surface. It goes into mental and emotional abuse, control, intimidation, coercion, financial abuse, using children as leverage. There's so many forms of domestic abuse and domestic violence that, you can't even, it's no way possible to be able to just look at someone and tell that they've been abused or not. And unfortunately, so many of us have been impacted even vicariously, even having just witnessed any form of abuse or domestic violence, and that can also have a lasting impact on a person, even if that person wasn't the one directly affected. So, yeah, the numbers, while they're, good, starting points for information to give us, a starting place for knowledge and where to go with advocacy and how to reach people, I could never say that could be completely 100% accurate just because of the many reasons why people don't report.
Yes. Thank you for that valuable information. Now, I want to know, when did you fall in love with poetry?
I fell in love with poetry ever since I learned what rhyming words were in grade school. I think it may have been during Black History Month, and we were learning about Langston Hughes and the other poets. I don't know why her name, Maya Angelou. That's my woman there. That's my rock. That's the person that I've always looked up to and admired. But as soon as I learned how to rhyme, I had a fascination with words. I love words. Like, I could live in a thesaurus and, put words together. I've also, been a survivor of, abuse and of domestic violence, child abuse, and, in my adult years. And so writing was an outlet for me to get my feelings out. And I will say for many years as a child, feeling very guarded, my words were very personal to me. So even though I wrote day in and day out, I never shared my words with anyone. It was just my way of, coping with my situation and dealing with my feelings. And so it became very personal to me. It wasn't until my early 20s that I really got into spoken word and, how important it is and how powerful it is to share, your experiences with others, because you just never know, how many people are dealing with the same stuff. And this whole poetry world, it connects you, just like, people are connected through music and through the visual arts and, any type of art, poetry and, the literary arts. It has a way of connecting people on deeper levels, because when you see and hear your situation being explained by someone who went through the same thing, it's like, wow, you make connections, based on your similarities. You start to, the lines blur from, this person being estranged to, oh my goodness, that person gets me, they know me. So, the whole poetry world is such a welcoming world. It's such a, intrinsic and artistic and just, it's such a vast array of just talents and personalities and perspectives and situations and experiences, and people all come together on those things to hear those words, to be moved, to be inspired, to be challenged, to be supported, to be encouraged. I've been in love with poetry since my childhood.
Okay. I saw you perform in Washington, D.C. When I saw you had glasses on. So, and you did an excellent job. I guess I was the fan at the Poets place. I was more of the fan than the spoken word. So I want to go ahead and do this. I'll play a little something called Fill in the Word, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a poem together, all right?
All right.
And we're going to talk about domestic violence poem.
Okay.
All right? Now, can you freestyle, or do you have to? I want you to just go with it. Just go with it. Whatever's on your mind, just go with it.
I'm not a really good off-the-top poet.
Just go with it. No apologies. No apologies. But I tell people, people say, oh, Miss Automatic Charismatic, you freestyle so well. I just go with it. No apologies.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's on your mind, just say it. Okay? I'm going to go first.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Knock, knock. Knock, knock on the door. Because you need help. Knock, knock. Needing help getting beat on and the bruises. And they're more after. Catch my moment right in the mirror. Where my voice be clearer. Because I'm a man. Better yet, I try to be safe. Because in this world, if I hit her, then they'll call me the monster. But I knock, knock, and I'm looking for help. But I don't want to be in this relationship, but yet I love her in such a blind way. You.
Knock, knock. Is anyone there? In this reflective mirror, I'm staring at the image of a girl whose body has grown with the years, but mine is stuck in the fear and in the tears of all the hurt and pain that I endured. I'm not even sure what makes me so angry. I'm not even sure what makes me think that he wants to hurt me, and so I hurt first. I'm not sure if I even want to be in this relationship. Trying to live by rules of how to play the game, how to keep him happy while trying to stay sane. I just don't know. All I know is I'm knocking on this door. I need someone to answer, to bring me back to the shore of reality and to tell me that there is a better way.
Knock, knock. How pleasant. How can I remind you that the love of the treasure goes so deep? That every little bit of sleep that is not well kept, that I haven't slept in the days. What will it take? Will it take for me to use my fists or my hands or my love? But I don't want to hit. I want to love with the touch more than the tongue thereafter. Capture the yesterday's image of what we used to be. When it was love and when we used to sing right into the clouds. But now the thunderstorm has came, so I knock, knock. Don't want to block, because you are my blessing. With the forward, a touch. When I touch you with every word, because I used to call you all the compliments, and you endured them. So now you have chosen on this rough road, a road to recovery, luxury, down in your deep in the equation of the abyss. For one kiss, maybe we can make it right. Maybe it doesn't have to be the same days and nights. I'm wondering, does she love me? Maybe I had to strain her because she was in the abusive before. So I tried to restore and try to take her right to the front and make her a queen again. Make her feel the queen image that's represented that she would get leverage to pull herself back to loving herself again. So I wonder how deep. But I'm not the enemy. But sometimes she looks at me like the enemy because the enemy what used to be. So I try to change that. Change all that history, the past, the forecast, the love. When we will hold hands, no more circumstance. Just give me a chance. Sometimes I have to strain her. Sometimes I have to plead with her. Tell her I'm here to love you. Don't hurt me. I never want to hurt you. Knock, knock.
Wow.
Yeah, you got more?
I think you said just enough. That's awesome. We're going to have to listen to the recording and write that down and really finish that and put that pen to that paper. That's an awesome compilation.
Yeah, I think, we could go ahead and do a domestic poem. I might do a domestic poem with you, domestic violence poem with you, do a collaboration. Mm-hmm. And we go ahead and talk about maybe it can help somebody get out of a bad situation. That's one thing I look forward to. That I have actually seen domestic violence. My ex-fiance was abused by her father of her children, but himself had been a man. He was the type to put all the blame on her because he could not see his kids, but he was the same type of blame that he was putting to her. He was really hypocritical by going to jail. When you're in jail and don't want to do right and don't want to make the example, every minute of his life it should be an example to his children, but you can't make an example when you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So, just wanted to put a little bit of spin on that. Wow. Let me ask you this. I got to ask you this. When you were on that stage in Washington, D.C., how did that feel to be, William Washington and my brother, Steve McCoy?
Yes, Rima Karama, just everyone. I will first say that was amongst the biggest honor for me as a poet and spoken word artist. During my years of marriage, which, came to an end, I left my husband in the fall of 2015. And it was like I was on a mission to reclaim who I was, because for many years I didn't write. I stopped going to the spoken word venues. I wasn't out there. I was just living life and dealing with, the situations that I was in. And so I felt like I had lost a great part of myself. And so my mission, once I freed myself from that, was to, reclaim who I was and to, be artistically expressive. And so I started locally, going back out to the venues and everything. And it was, awesome to see that some of the same people that were, out back in, 2004 and 2005 when I last, was in the public eye, to see that they were still doing it and still going strong, and, poetry still had its place. It was, it was refreshing. And so it went from that to networking on Facebook and meeting people and going to the Black Poetry Cafe Festival in June in Atlanta, Georgia. And that is where I had the honor and the privilege of meeting so many people: James Mr. Speaker Sears, Steve Scorpio Sessions, McGoy, Kimber Love, William Washington, just Carmen Bravo, so many people, Urema Karama. It was just a number. I don't know if you were in Georgia, but it was just,
not yet.
Mm-hmm,
not yet.
It was a sight. Yes, it was just a sight. It was amazing. And so to be able to perform during the open mic on the last night of the festival, it was amazing. And I got to network with so many people. And so when Steve McGoy, the CEO and founder of One Positive Way Radio, reached out to me and invited me to come and perform as a featured artist at Blessed Boys and Poets in the Langston Hughes room at that, it was like, oh, my God, this is surreal. And so I went and I gave it all I had and enjoyed the fellowship with everyone, and, the union and the fellowship and, just the connectedness was genuine and it was real. And I learned about the movement of One Positive Way Radio and the mission, and, I was, integrated. It was, everything just came like it was supposed to, and I was integrated as a part of it. And now I have the opportunity to do, the things I love as far as with poetry and with my advocacy, because it's on that network that I have my show, The Community on Abuse and Domestic Violence, monthly, the last Tuesdays of every month. So for anyone who's listening, Blog Talk Radio is the engine, and you can look up One Positive Way Radio. You can also go on Facebook and look for One Positive Way Radio and like the page, and you'll see what it is that the network offers, because we talk about social issues, not just abuse and domestic violence. We do cancer awareness. We do, health and wellness. The gospel is the longest-running program that they've had since 2012. The gospel airs every Sunday to revive your spirit. We have, people talking about the Word of God and ministers coming on. We have the gospel healing sessions. And also this Sunday, I'll be co-hosting the gospel according to spoken word. And so we try to do that monthly so that people can express their testimony through poetry. So it's so many things that is covered and talked about in One Positive Way Radio, and that just catapulted me, that opportunity to be a part of One Positive Way weekend in Washington, D.C. last year just catapulted me into so many other opportunities, and it's just a blessing. And that is, in fact, how you and I met. So, again, just all the way around, it was just a blessing. It was just a blessing, and I'm just honored.
I'm honored that I met you. It seemed like you were kind of quiet, and when I saw you were smiling, you were quiet. Like, I don't know, I didn't know if you got you're so humble. You're a humble woman, and it's like you were just excited to be around poets.
Yes, I was, and thank you. Yes, I tend to be quiet. I'm a very observant person. I like to just take in what's going on around me and be in the moment and feel what is happening in the moment. It gives me, a sense of grounding and just a sense of being able to feel, you know, my surroundings and people's spirits and energies. I'm really keen on, you know, feeling people's spirits, and I like to be surrounded by positive spirits, positive energy, like-minded people. But my heart goes out to people that are, you know, underserved and downtrodden and, you know, just needing a helping hand. So, you know, I have to stay aware. I have to stay observant so that I know, you know, what my spirit is leading me to do, what work God is trying to do through me. So that's how I tend to be. I'm pretty quiet.
I love, you know what, I love everything that you have said. You know, you are a wonderful individual. You know, I come to your show because I know that, and I love One Positive Way. You know, I have my own network, Viper, for Intellectual Poetry Entertainment Radio. So I love channeling with other networks, and I learned so much as far as, you know, as far as like the information. So yeah, and let me get back to that poem. You were like Stella in that poetry. You know, you had your groove on. You got rallies, and I feel like you definitely got your groove back. You said that you were in a relationship, and then you didn't write, and I guess you just like Stella. You had to get your groove back.
Yeah.
You know.
I think I have found my footing. It's still a nervousness on stage, but it's a good nervousness. It's like a rush or a high. And that was one of the pieces that I did in D.C. It was called Poetry Junkie, and it was just describing, you know, that feeling that you get, you know, that I get when you know, I'm writing and when I'm speaking. It's just, you know, it takes me to a whole nother level. So, yes, I am a poetry junkie. I have found my footing, and, you know, I'm growing. I can see my style changing. I can see my topics and, you know, the things that I focus on changing because, you know, growing and learning is an everyday process. So, you know, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm far from where I was, and so I'm happy with the process, and I'm just going with it day by day, moment to moment.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely enjoy myself. You know, sometimes I don't mind listening to other poets. Matter of fact, I always said that I'm more of a fan than a spoken word artist. So, you know, I just flow on top of other people's flow. I feel the energy connected, and when I feel that energy, it's like it surrounds me and give me a chance to go ahead and express myself using words. So I like to use metaphors. I like to, you know, I always like to, it's a challenge for me to do a poem because I like to exercise the mind of the reader or the listener. So, yeah, that's something that I like to do, you know. So I definitely had the pleasure of listening to you, and I thought that you did an excellent job. Just to put that on note.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, boy. Let's go to talk about the gospel, okay? All right?
Yes.
I'm going to say some old school. I'm going to start the old school, all right? I'm going to see if you can finish it, okay? This old school rhymes.
Okay.
Hosanna, blessed be the rock.
And let the rock of my salvation be exalted. You got me trying to sing in the morning.
Okay, all right. Let me see. Let me do this. Okay. And some of these songs are going to be not always old school. I'm just going to do some hymns. And you're going to finish it, okay? Melodies from heaven.
Rain down on me. Rain down on me.
All right. You got a voice, so you know what? you know what? You got a voice on you now. Okay, all right now. I like this interview because I'm finding all kinds of things. You hear it one positive way? Yeah, she got a voice on her now. You might have to, she might have the anointing. So, okay.
Yes, like I said, I love all the arts, all the art forms. I like the visual, the performing, everything. Like, I'm just into the arts. It's just all, you know, forms of expression. It just moves me. So singing, aside from writing, singing is what, you know, reconnects me to my spirit and, you know, can always bring me out of any, you know, moments of, you know, feeling low or feeling in despair. And I will sing from the top of my lungs and not care who hears me. So.
You know what? I love you. You can sing now. Okay. Let me see. Take me to the King. Oh, come on now. Just Traveling Man.
You're bringing out Miss Traveling Man on me. She's way up in the that envelope. I can't even try to touch her. Okay.
All right. Okay. Hey, see, one positive way, I'll find out some things for y'all, okay? Yeah, I'll go ahead and ask her to sing on the gospel show. So she started getting it. She might start putting on the robe. So I have no own gospel choir within herself.
Yes, so, something I like to do. Like I said, I'm shy, so getting me to sing in front of people may or may not happen, but I sing to myself.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. Let me. Okay. Hold on.
Oh, you're going to have to give me some more of that one.
All right, hold on. Help.
It's on the way. He may not come when you want him, but he'll be right there on time.
Okay, let's go. We're going to go into the preacher now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love this to say this. I love the Lord. I love to hear his preaching, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever been in church and you can smell the food downstairs and you are hungry?
And in church,
you are hungry. And you hungry now?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna start preaching now. God is good, y'all. The Lord is good. Now your stomach needs an anointing, okay? You need some food and some food, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And you love your pastor, but you hungry. Can that be a distraction when you are hearing the word? Now, so and that stomach,
stomach grumbling.
Yeah, your stomach trying to be blessed too. Your stomach, your appetite want to be blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Can that
be
a distraction? Okay.
Made me hungry. Made me physically hungry. I done got all this spiritual nutrition and
all right.
Some sustenance. But at the church that I grew up in as a child, I remember all the church mothers, they would, you know, head out a little early to go into the cafeteria to start preparing the food and everything, and it would smell so good. And, yeah, we face that issue a lot when people be hungry, and we start trying to sneak out, you know, early when he's doing the call to Christ or something to go in the cafeteria to get the, you know, good spot in line to get to all that good food. So, yes, I can completely relate to that.
I'm going to tell you, know what?
You're hungry.
I went to a church, I'll lie to you not. Every time the pastor would say, now it's time to give your 10%, why half of the church be empty? I
On Pluto's tab. Talk about them dinners.
It's time to leave now.
Yes.
I said, golly, as soon as he said, let's time for tithe and offering after the church meeting.
Yes.
Hey, God, I've seen people do that.
Mm-hmm.
At least try to pay something. At least try to pay something.
Yes, yes.
You know? So, all right, let's get back to this music. Gospel. I want to thank you, God, for giving me. That's how we hear it. That's how we hear it.
You're going to have to give me some more of that.
Give me one more chance.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord. You don't know nothing about Howard Hewitt. Do you know anything about Howard Hewitt?
About Howard Hewitt. Little something.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that to you. You don't make me feel all old. And good God, why? You feel like I'm all old and stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I ain't trying to do that.
I'm young 40, so I'm good. Let's say, okay. I want to get to Jesus loves me.
This I know, for the Bible tells me so.
Now you preaching. I'm trying to get you to say it. You up there preaching. I want you to say it. Yeah, you preaching now. I mean, so you come with a sermon.
You trying to get it out of me?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that anointing. Well, my mom said to get the anointing.
Say that for another day, another show. So I make sure people feeling this anointing with me.
I got some anointing.
World, no.
I got some anointing out. See, I snuck it out of you.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So
I'm just thankful. I really am thankful. I'm humble. God has blessed me with many talents, as He has, each and every one of us, and to be able to do what I feel like, my purpose is and what God has put me here for. And I'm still not even, even close to, reaching all my goals and the things that I want to do as far as outreach in the community and stuff. But just I always say that I know God puts me in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. And so everything is, part of the journey. Everything that I've gone through, all my experiences, good or bad, I don't regret them. I don't try to take it back, because I know ultimately God is preparing me to, be to the place that He designed for me to be. So I'm thankful. I'm humble. I love the Lord, and He has His hands on me. He always has. I know I would not have made it this far without His grace and mercy. So I thank God every day, first and foremost.
Okay.
I love the Lord.
Well, I was winding down, and I want to say thank you for taking the time for the interview. And you did read you read my mind, because that's what I was getting ready to do. I don't know how you were able to read my mind like that, but that's another. So I want you to tell everybody how they can reach you.
All right. Well, you can find me. You can find me on Facebook at CADEENA Parker. That is CADEENA Parker. I also have a page, Queen CADEENA, the Quintessence. You can find me there and like that page. I'm also affiliated with the One Positive Way Radio Network. So you can look us up on Facebook, One Positive Way Radio, and like the page and follow us, as well as join us on blogtalkradio.com and just search One Positive Way. You can listen to podcasts from all our previous shows. I do host a community on abuse and domestic violence monthly, the last Tuesday of each month, and each month I have a different topic related to spreading the awareness and providing support and advocacy for survivors of domestic violence. My upcoming show will be Tuesday, April the 25th from 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will be discussing relationships, obedience versus sacrifice. So we're going to be exploring, the norms and the trends of things that we, sacrifice in the name of love and, just trying to make sure that we are not committing ourselves to unhealthy relationships and behaviors in the name of love and because, we feel that since God has sacrificed his life for us, that, we're supposed to go through those extremes to prove to someone that we love them. So we're going to be exploring those topics, and I'm going to have a guest minister up there to, explore that with me and to talk with the caller. So, that's where I am. I don't do a lot of, the social media outlets, the Twitter and the Instagram and stuff, but the best way to find me is on Facebook and on the One Positive Way Radio Network.
Okay. So like I was saying, thank you for the information. And this is Viper Network, which is Intellectual Poetry Entertainment Radio. I am Mr. Automatic Charismatic. You can find me on Facebook as Larry Shepherd. I wanted to say thank you for taking out your time out your busy schedule to go ahead and let me have the honor to interview you. And I shall hear you on One Positive Way. So, with that being said, join us in next time on Inside the Spotlight, as I will have another interview with someone. Thank you, and y'all go ahead and just subscribe to this, and I just want to say thank you. Bye.
Thank you.